Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm missing you guys in the classroom, but here is our presentation for our grant proposal. Jennifer, Nina, and Catherine worked on this project called a minority mentorship program. We decided to make a grant proposal for our minority mentorship program. After kind of seeing that there is some growing representation in graduate programs around the country and minority students of all, races and ethnicities. And with that being said, minorities are still facing a lot of barriers within their education department. So sometimes being the only ones who identify as their own ethnic minority in their program or maybe even the whole institution. And with that, not only do they face being potentially the only person of color in their program, but also they face financial strains, race-related events, mental health issues, and difficulties being accepted by their peers and professors in their respective programs. Kind of touching on mental health, according to a 2018 research study, there is a huge mental health crisis occurring within the graduate students in America, since we as graduate students are 6 times more likely to experience depression and anxiety than the general public. That is a huge, astonishing number, that we are more likely to develop, some type of anxiety and depressive disorder. And there are limited to no programs to target this crisis at this moment. And with that being said, minorities in general face a lot of adversity and a lot of negative mental health outcomes, to be specific. So how are our minority students being affected or helped in this situation? So while keeping all of that in mind, we decided to develop a minority mentorship program to help minority students in higher education, specifically graduate students at Marquette, to increase their sense of belongingness, academic success, and decrease emotional distress in terms of anxiety and depression, and overall increase their general happiness in their programs and just success overall. A little bit about the program. Students would meet once a week for 12 weeks as a group. So we're kind of going through like a group therapy kind of program. And it's more of a group mentorship program where students of color or ethnic minorities can meet, discuss different issues, receive support from one another, as well as minority faculty and staff at the university as well. And this is important to kind of recognize that even though there is a small minority group here at Marquette, the faculty here is also significantly smaller, as you can see in that diagram. So it's important to establish that list that we will be giving out to all the participants in order for them to just have a little bit more of support in order to help them out in these during this time of being in a program where they might be the only person of color. And there will also be a curriculum guide that outlines different goals and topics that are going to be addressed each week. So different weeks might be career development, personal development, coping skills, different self-care activities and stuff like that, to kind of help the students through these times and increase their mental health status. And with this program, we will be using a membership model for retention of minority students. And this model was developed by a nursing program, not affiliated with Marquette or anything, but this program really was beneficial to the students because they were not only able to receive professional advice and professional kind of guidance, but they were also able to receive personal feedback and personal connections with other minorities at their site. In terms of data collection and analysis, we will be using a multivariate ANOVA, and we decided to use that route in order to evaluate the means of each measure and its effect on the minority students. So we'll be using the means collected from the scales that we will be giving our participants. So the scale for belongingness, we will be taking the means from that. The emotional distress scale, racially motivated events, and academic success. We will be taking those means in order to have a better understanding of how our program either helped or didn't help. You know, it's always important to keep that in mind as well. In terms of our program evaluation, our program is going to run from January 2021 in terms of like planning and stuff, and summer term 2021 is when we will actually be collecting data. And we'll be taking the rest of the fall semester of 2021 to be able to evaluate the plan and be able to do all of our analyses and stuff like that. We will also be evaluating the effectiveness of the program, and participant satisfaction and dissatisfaction with the program will also be evaluated through a scale that we will be also doing potentially a t-test with that. In terms of community deliverable, this program is free of charge for our participants, and the curriculum guide will be available for graduate students, those either who are participants or those who are enrolled at the institution. The guide will also be available for other academic and education institutions. The only thing that we ask is that they agree to give proper citation and recognition to the team members who worked hard to develop this plan to help increase belongingness, academic success, and decrease emotional distress within our minority graduate students, especially here at Marquette University. So if anyone has any questions, please let Nina, Catherine, or myself know. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And again, reach out if you have any questions or any suggestions on how we can improve our program. Thank you.